Okay, so lesson 1.3, we're going to start with, let's pretend we are in the same group and we want to test the stereotype. And I just picked one. Do blondes really have more fun? Okay, so have you guys all heard that stereotype before? Yeah, okay. So, you know, who knows? There's no like proof of this. It's a stereotype, right? It's something that people generalize. They might believe is true, they might not, who knows? But let's say that is our question. Do blondes really have more fun? And our goal as like, let's pretend we're all in the same project group and this is our topic. Our goal is to like scientifically or data driven like proof that this is either true or false. We're either going to prove the stereotype or we're going to debunk it. All right. And we don't want our opinions to influence it. We actually want just raw data, right? We want data to just answer this question without any sort of influence on our own opinions. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, well, first, okay, in order to be able to analyze and come to a conclusion about this, we have to understand the nature of the problem. Okay? So like really think about this question. Think about what is this question actually asking? What is this question actually asking? And that's actually harder than it sounds. Because initially you read it, you're like, oh yeah, I know what it means. But if you really dig into the details of the question, you might not realize that there's nuances to it. All right, so we need to know the goal of the research and we need a clear direction on how to gather data, okay? So second question or second part is what I'm gonna have you guys break into groups to figure out, is deciding what to measure and how to measure it. So what I want you guys to do is I'm gonna break you guys into groups and I want you to think about creating like a survey, okay, to try to answer this question, do blondes really have more fun? If you needed to go out and get data to try to answer this question more scientifically, what questions would you need to ask people? Okay, so I'm going to break you guys into groups and that's what I want you guys to discuss. What questions would you need to have on this survey to answer this question? All right, any questions before I break you guys into groups? Okay, all right, let me go ahead and open up these breakout rooms. And I'll put you in groups of 3 to 4. Okay, here we go. Reasonable or something? Hi, I'm just a fly on the wall, so keep going. What are you guys thinking? Where'd Karis go? Oh, never
Hi.
mind. Hi.
We were talking about like the first question was that we would have to ask like if they were blonde or not to separate the data from people that are blonde and people that are not. And
Definitely.
yeah, and then the second question would be to ask like what they find fun and how fun to them, like how fun is that like action to them. And
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know if this
So,
like sorry.
no, go ahead, Margot.
I don't know if this is like if this would even work, but I feel like if we choose like a specific activity that everyone has done, then it's easier to see like on a scale how fun like each person has.
Ooh, okay. So why that idea of having that singular activity? Why do you think that's beneficial?
Um because if we choose like a whole bunch of different things, like we all I don't know, I just feel like let's just say like everyone went to the school dance, like you would it was like the same activities, they were doing the same thing, like we all had the same experience, so it really like can show like if you're blonde, if you have more fun or not.
Yeah, it kind of gives like everybody a common ground as opposed to subjectiveness. Okay, yeah, keep going. All right, keep talking. Another group is asking me for some help. So, yeah, you guys are doing good.
This is Car.
How did you do that?
Oh, there's a button at the bottom that says ask for help.
Yeah.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
my teacher, my fourth period teacher, like told us yesterday, so now I'm experimenting with all the buttons.
Oh yeah. So are you just experimenting to see if I would come?
Oh no, we actually didn't. But we're kind of lost on like what like how we would ask a question for the specific like I don't know.
Yeah. So you're trying to address this stereotype. Like you want to see if blondes really have more fun, right? Let's say you just have like 1,000 people you can ask any questions to, and you want to ask them questions in order to answer to see if the stereotype is correct. Like what kind of questions would you need to ask them to answer this stereotype?
Like if you could dye your hair any color, what color would you dye it?
Okay, so why would you ask that? How would that help?
Because if the preferred hair color is like blonde, then I don't really know.
Okay, so I think you're going the right direction in terms of focusing on hair color, right? Because that's one of the big variables in the stereotype. However, again, going back to step one of understanding the nature of the problem, if you think about the stereotype, it's not asking what is everybody's preferred hair color, because your question would answer that perfectly, right? What is everybody's preferred hair color? The question, however, is do blondes really have more fun? So I think the question needs to be changed a little bit, because it's not asking what does everybody want to have in terms of hair color. It's asking, do people who are blonde have more fun? So what's a question you can ask about hair color that would kind of address this more? It doesn't have to be just one question too. You can ask a lot of questions.
What about like, would you rather go to a party with all blondes or like all brunettes? Is that like too based on hair color still?
I see where you're going. That question would answer, do people have more fun with blondes or brunettes? Right? It's asking like other people's perspective of hair color. So the question, I mean, I would just start with, what's your hair color?
Okay.
Yeah, just start with what's your hair color, and that way you can separate the blondes from the not blondes.
Okay.
Right? And that's a quick way of kind of having two comparison groups, because that's what you need to compare, right? You need to compare blondes with people who aren't blonde.
All right. So then what's your hair color would be the first one.
Yeah. Okay. So then now what else do you need to figure out?
If they have fun with that hair color.
Well, it doesn't have to be with the hair color, right? It's not, do you have fun like braiding your hair, your blonde hair? It's think about the stereotype, right? We're trying to see,
how much fun do you normally have?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yep. How much fun do you have? But okay,
That's like
think
kind
about
of
that
broad.
question though. Yeah.
That's the
If
only
you got
issue.
that question, like you would be like, wait, what? Like, how do I respond to that? So think about how you can ask that question so people understand and can respond the way that you want them to respond. Does that make
Well,
sense?
do you feel like you have fun when you go out, or like do you feel like you have fun when you hang out with friends?
I like where that's going, but I feel like everybody would say yes. I guess not everybody, but most people would say yes to that.
Yeah.
So keep brainstorming, okay? I don't want to give you guys everything, so keep
Okay.
brainstorming, but you guys are on the right track.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Okay, we could ask like we could ask what's your favorite activity and then follow up with do you have
Hey, how you guys doing? You guys are muted.
We're doing good. I think we
Doing
finished.
good.
Got it? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right, thanks guys. Go ahead and just jump back to the main session then once you're done.
All right.
All right, thanks. Hey guys, how you doing?
We finished. We were just writing down some of our questions.
Awesome. Okay, I can't wait to hear them. Did you
Yeah.
want to run some by me, or are you good to go to the main session?
Uh,
I think we're good to go.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
All
we're
right.
good.
Go ahead and go back to the main session then.
All right.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good. We found we got our thing.
You got it? Okay, awesome. Okay, if you guys are done, go back to the main session.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Hey, how you guys doing? You guys are like all on your phones.
Yeah, we finished our
You
like
done?
questions.
Yeah.
So
Wait, say it again?
we finished like our thing.
Okay, awesome. Go back to the main session, and that way I know
Oh,
who's
okay,
done.
cool.
Sweet. All right, how you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Still good? Okay. Once you're done, are you guys close to done or not quite?
I think we're done.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Go ahead and go back to the main session and we'll start sharing.
a follow-up one?
All right. You guys still doing good?
Yeah, we got our second one, which we said, how many nights a week do you go out? And then we followed up with, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun do you have when you go out?
Ooh, all right. That's, I think, a lot more useful. Yeah. Like having that scale, I think it's a lot more useful than just like a
Because-
yes/no question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
like if everybody rates their experiences, and you can kind of like figure
Yeah.
We're on
out
like a
like,
bar
oh
graph.
well, these people tend to enjoy themselves more.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and have everybody go back to the main session. So go ahead and leave the room
Okay.
and we'll share.
Sounds good.
Okay, good job, guys. Let's see.
Sorry, I left the whole meeting by accident.
Oh, that's okay. You're back. I am missing one person though. Can everybody go ahead and look for your attendance partner real quick? I lost somebody. Oh. Okay, whoever that was came back.
I accidentally got kicked out. Like I
Oh.
accidentally left.
That's okay. All right. So let's go ahead and hear what you guys came up with. So I'm just going to randomly call on somebody, and that group, it could be that person or anybody in that group, can share what questions they came up with. All right, so let's go to my seat chart. Here we go. All right, let's go to Holly's group. So anybody in Holly's group, go ahead and share what you guys came up with.
So one question that I wrote down was it was a question ranging from the answer like ranging from like 1 to 10. So like on a scale from 1 to 10, how comfortable are you in a social gathering, like a social setting?
Mm-hmm.
And they would usually answer with like 10 being like the most comfortable, which means like they usually have like a lot of fun at social gatherings, and 1 being like not having a lot of fun.
Okay, hold on. Actually, let me go and write this down. Do blondes really have more fun? Okay.
Yeah, and then we also asked the question, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be out to go to a social gathering / party?
Okay, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely are you to go to a social gathering? Is that right? How likely are you to go to a social gathering? All right, awesome. Johnny, sorry, can you say yours one more time?
Yeah. I said on a scale from 1 through 10, how comfortable are you in a social gathering?
Okay, so very similar on a scale. So why did you guys decide to use a scale, just out of curiosity? I think it's a great idea.
We decided that if you took a sample size of people who are like brunettes, blondes, people with black hair, people with red hair, then if you ask on a scale of 1 to 10, like maybe brunettes average like a number of like 3, while blondes are more in the higher numbers, like 8s or 9s, 10s maybe. And so we decided that would be the best to find out on averages.
Awesome. So you're already doing what's part of number 1, which is having a clear direction. Like you kind of already are thinking about the analysis of like what's a great way to compare. So being able to compare 2 numbers side by side is really useful. So having that scale allows you to do that. Awesome. Good job, guys. Okay, thank you, Holly's group. Let's go to Karis's group. What did you guys come up with?
We came up with like our first question asking like what hair color they had, so we could differentiate the blondes from the people that are not blonde.
Nice. Yeah,
And-
definitely need to know that.
And then we took like we took a topic that everybody could like relate to. I think it was either watching the movies or going to the movies or like school.
Mhm.
And then we just had a scale on 1 to 10, like how much do you enjoy that thing?
So how much do you enjoy going to school? Scale, let's say 1 to 10. And then how much do you enjoy going to the movies? Is that kind of where you're going? Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome, thank you, Karis's group. Yeah, same thing. I like how you guys thought of, let's find a, like, what's the word I'm looking for? A common experience, right? Because it makes it less subjective. So when you compare, you're not comparing like somebody having fun at the beach compared to somebody having fun at a library, right? Like that's a hard comparison. So having that like common ground of like, okay, how much fun do you have doing this activity specifically? It's a better comparison, right? All right, good, nice. Let's go to Nathan's group.
So we definitely didn't do a scale, but we were asking more like generalizations for what your questions are. So like one of our questions was what do you prefer to do as like an extracurricular activity?
Extracurricular activity. Okay, all right. And then how does that answer the stereotype, you think? Like if they respond, what would show you that blondes have more fun?
Well, so yeah, and then also just we'd have to put them in subcategories of blondes, brunettes, red hairs, and black hairs, and then also like take into other factors their personalities. So like we can't put people that enjoy like if you put people that do say, like just sports, and you put people that enjoy doing like VAPA credits and stuff like that, you kind of can't really put them in the same category because they have two completely different interests, and that could also make not like outliers, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
Kind of, yeah. Because you
But
have
like you can't
so
just
many
turn like
different types of
to make
people.
you have to make subcategories. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, awesome. All right, guys. So, sorry, I wish I had more time to go through all your questions, but I kind of want to just kind of wrap up and see. All right. I think you guys did a great job. Like, I think these questions are awesome and definitely point to the stereotype. Do blondes really have more fun? I think this will get you good information. Let me go ahead and now poke some holes into it, though. Okay, so you have to be really detailed when you think of these questions. And it really goes back to understanding the nature of the problem, really thinking about that stereotype. Okay, so a few things I would ask. First off, what hair color do you have? Seems like a simple question, right? But what if somebody dyes their hair? Do they give their current hair color or do they give their natural hair color? So you got to think of like, okay, the stereotype, is it talking about natural blondes or is dyed blondes okay? So you can come up to your own conclusion. Different people will say different things. In the interest of time, I would say if your hair is dyed blonde, I think that counts. Okay, so I would say, what is your current hair color? You know, natural or dyed. Oh, I don't think that's the right way to spell dyed in that context. Okay. So, you know, little details to think of like that. When it comes to fun, and I think the fun part is the hardest part of this situation. The fun is hard to measure, right? It's hard. So what you want to do is you want to think about the stereotype. Okay. When you guys first heard that stereotype or you're thinking about the stereotype, what are the blondes doing? Are they having fun reading a book by the fireplace? Are they, you know, I don't know. There's like a lot of different activities, but the stereotypical fun that this is talking about is typically like going out, you know, with friends, socializing, going to a party, things like that. So I like the social gathering question. I think that was really good. Like, on a scale from 1 to 10, I think that was a great idea. Let's see. How much fun do you have at a party? Right? Because that's the stereotype. It's talking about how much fun do you have at a like concert, you know, things like that. So I'm again focusing on the nature of the stereotype, which is usually just having fun, you know, at parties, socializing, going out with friends, etc. So you can even, yeah, do a lot of different things like that. Do you have hanging out with friends? Okay, so you really want to be specific in the stereotype and thinking about like this question, how to answer it. Okay. All right. So, I mean, there's a lot more I can go into this, but I think this will get you a good foundation to answering that stereotype. Different things that I would also bring up is like, who do you give the survey to, right? Again, think about the stereotype. Are you going to give it to, 50-year-old people? Like, no, you're not going to give it to like your grandma or your grandpa and ask them like, how much fun do you have at your a party, grandma? No, right? You think about the stereotype and you think of like people in their teens and 20s. You can even think about gender, right? Is this stereotype typically referring to males, females? All right, you can start thinking about that too. Okay, so there's so much to this one question that you don't really get into until you really start looking into it. All right, so hopefully you guys got a good idea of actually how difficult it is to make these surveys and how difficult and thought consuming it is to really make a good survey to answer this one question. All right, do you guys have any questions so far? Okay, let me go ahead and finish up on our lesson. Okay. All right, so that is a little foretaste to what your project is going to be like. So you guys are going to come up with the stereotype, and you guys are going to come up with a survey and gather the data and make conclusions. So you can start thinking about stereotypes you want to do. Okay. All right, so we did that. Data collection, you guys are going to do that part. All right, go out and gather data. You're going to do some analysis like we did yesterday, graphically, numerically. I'm going to teach you guys statistical methods on how to analyze your data and then how to interpret your results. Okay? All right, let's get to our last part of the lesson, our 4 vocab terms. And you can be sure you will find this on our quiz. So make sure you pay close attention. All right, by the way, quiz is Friday, lessons 1.1 and 1.4. All right, so here we go. First vocab term, population. All right, population is the collection of all individuals or objects that you care to know about. The entire collection of individuals or objects that you want to know about. So for example, do blondes really have more fun? Your population could be all, people from, 18 to 28. Okay, that can be your population. All people from 18 to 28. And that would be who you want to gather information. And if you get information from that population, that's what you call a parameter. So if you get the average number of blonde people in the population, that's a parameter, okay? And then a sample. Sample is a subset of the population selected that you actually study. So you're not going to be able to get every single person from 18 to 28. So instead, you take a subset. You take a smaller group of those people to actually survey. All right, and information you get from that sample, that's called a statistic. All right, so the easiest way I remember is population parameter, P and P, and sample statistic, S and S. All right, so population parameter, sample statistic. Okay, so let's go to our first example. Can I have, let's see, Ethan. Ethan, can I have you read example 1 from the notes? It's kind of long, so let's go to, what's a good place to start? Oh, sorry. Actually, yeah, can you read the whole thing, Ethan? Ethan.
Wait, me or Ethan Carter?
Yeah, it's two.
There you go. All right, Ethan, can you read out example 1 for us?
I think there's 2 Ethans. I think there
Yeah.
was one.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Ethan Chen.
My notes only go to inferential statistics. Was
Oh, no. Example 1, it says a number of studies.
Mine only goes to inferential statistics. I don't think my printer printed out the whole thing.
Oh, shoot. Okay. No worries.
I can read it. I have it.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Go for it. Thank you.
A number of studies have reached the conclusion that stimulating mental activities can lead to improved memory and psychological wellness in older adults. The article, A Short-Term Intervention to Enhance Cognitive and Effective Functioning in Older Adults, Journal of Aging and Health, Describes a study to investigate whether training in acting has similar benefits. Acting requires a person to consider the goals of the characters in the story, to remember lines of dialogue, to move on stage as scripted, and to do all of this at the same time. The researchers conducting the study wanted to see if participation in this type of complex multitasking would show an improvement in the ability to function independently in daily life. Participants in the study were assigned to one of three groups. One group took part in acting class for 4 weeks. One group spent a similar amount of time in a class on visual arts, and the third group was a comparison group called the no treatment group that did not take either class. A total of 124 adults aged 60 to 86 participated in the study. At the beginning of the 4-week study period, and again at the end of the 4-week study period, each participant took several tests designed to measure problem solving, memory span, self-esteem, and psychological well-being. After analyzing the data from the study, the researchers concluded that those in the acting group showed greater gains than both the visual arts group and the no treatment group in both problem solving and psychological well-being.
Awesome. Thank you, Clancy. Okay, so your question is, describe the sample and population of interest for this study. Okay, so what I like to do is, I think the sample is always easier to find. So go ahead and write down what you think the sample in this situation is. All right, and Matthew, I'm gonna call on you. What do you think the sample is in this case?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me call on Kira. Kira, what do you think the sample is in this case?
The sample would be the group of people that were put in the classes.
Okay, so specifically, who was studied?
It was adults from, it was ages, where to go, 60 to 86, and they took it was a visual arts class and then an acting class.
Okay, so when you talk about the sample, so you got the people from 60 to 86. How many people were in that sample?
124.
There you go. All right, so that is your sample.
Okay.
124 adults age 60 to 86 who participated in the study. So you can just write the 124 adults age 60 to 86. And that is your sample. Those are the people you actually studied and got information from. Good. Okay. Now the question is, what is your population? That's your sample. Who are they representing? And I'll give you a hint. When you talk about the population, you should use the word all, right? The entire collection. So all what would be your population? Go ahead and write down, everybody write down your answer. Matthew, are you ready to be called on again? No, he's like talking to somebody right now. All right. Let's go to Victor. Victor, who do you think the population is?
I think like the population would be like all of the older adults within like the age of like 60 to 86 years old.
Perfect. Good job. All right. So if you have 124 adults age 60 to 86 is your sample, your population is all adults age 60 to 86 as your population. So you see how easy it is to go from sample to population? You basically just replace the number with the word all, and that's your population. All right, good. Way to be specific too, because if you just said all adults, that would not be correct, right? Because all adults could be anywhere from like 30 to like 100. But specifically, the population this sample is representing is all adults age 60 to 86. So great job. All right, any questions on identifying sample versus population? That's going to be part of your homework tonight. Okay, then our last two vocab terms then are the different types of statistics. So descriptive statistics, that's what we're going to be covering in first semester. It's a branch of statistics that you guys are probably the most familiar with. This is, summarizing and analyzing data, organizing it in tables, graphs, finding like mean, median, mode, range, all that stuff. That's descriptive statistics. It's describing the data. Okay. The second half of this class, second semester, you guys are going to learn inferential statistics. And that's really exciting because this is what makes the big bucks. This is what people get paid money to do. And it's powerful, inferential statistics. And that's how you get a sample, analyze it, and be able to tell things about the entire population. That is a tremendous skill. To take a small sample, right, analyze it, and be able to generalize it to the entire group of population. That is major. So you guys are going to learn how to do that, inferential statistics. Okay, so those are your 4 vocab terms: population, sample, descriptive statistics, and inferential statistics. Okay, your homework for tonight, just these 5 problems. Remember, do the problems on a sheet of paper, or I think you guys might be able just to type it up. And if you do on a separate sheet of paper, take a picture of it, turn it into a PDF. You can, look at the YouTube link or look at what Clancy's app, and turn that into me before tomorrow.